Coming up tonight on Bus News.
Further news has been released about the Edinburgh bus tenders, and
Edinburgh's various tour buses have now entered their winter timetables. Hey, what's going on, guys? Me, Mortimer here, and this is gonna be, another shorter Bus News episode, but considering, the month before last, because Christ almighty, how's it already November, we did have, 2 back-to-back, down near half-hour long episodes, so I think keeping this one probably even under 5 minutes is probably ideal. First off, as of the date this should have been released, all of the tour buses in Edinburgh will have entered their winter timetables, which I'm quite surprised that Bright Bus moved to the winter timetable before Lothian did, but now all of the Edinburgh bus tours, which are Lothian's tour buses, will be running every half hour. And then with Bright Bus, the Britannia tours hourly, and the City tours every 15 minutes. So, yeah. Next, some of Lothian's 66-plate Wright Gemini 3-bodied Volvo B5TLs, specifically 445 and 446, have been repainted from the traditional Lothian Madder livery into the Lothian Country Buses green livery, and the rest of the 66 plates are suspected to be getting repainted and sent along with 445 and 6 through to Lothian Country. So that means that Lothian Country are now getting 25 kind of new, but not really new buses, because, I mean, I believe it's the first time that Lothian Country buses will be getting B5TLs, because, of course, they already have the 20 Gemini 3-bodied B5LHs, but this is their first time getting their diesel counterpart to that. So this means 25 vehicles to Lothian Country, which will be replacing the 10 buses getting withdrawn, which are 841 through 850, which are Wright Gemini-bodied Volvo B90Ls from 2007. And that means that there's still going to be an extra 15 buses remaining, 5 of which will be used on the X19, which is the new route between Edinburgh and Winchborough, if you didn't see the last episode. And then that leaves 10 buses for just whatever, so fingers crossed there'll be increases in West Lothian. We'll see if it actually does happen, because I think Livingston, like the 72, could do with the increases. X27 and X28 could as well. 73, yeah. Additionally, some more Lothian BZLs are now on the bus times fleet list. The ones in particular being 713, 718, and 719. So that's exciting. It means that more are actually coming in, finally. It's annoying it's taken a while, though, I will say. But yeah, I think with how slow these BZLs are moving in, this is sort of going back to the Gemini 3s. I think it probably makes sense to assume that the Gemini 3s are probably also going to be moved over to Lothian Country really quite gradually. Because I think all 50 were supposed to have arrived by now. It's been 2 months since the first ones were introduced, and so far there are only 11 in service. 12 if you include 700E, but that's kind of a demonstrator. At this rate, I have no clue if it's going to stay with Lothian permanently or what, but... So, yeah, the whole fleet list situation's a bit confusing, but cool to see some B5s heading out to Livingston. Lastly, more news on the Edinburgh tenders has come out, not officially, but the 13 and 60 have now been added to bus times, along with a new route X39. I'll get into the X39 in a minute. What's weird, though, is I think Travelline might have done a little bit of an oopsie, as on bus times it's listed under Aberdeenshire Council. Aberdeenshire. But, yeah, so the 13's gonna sort of run every 60 to 65 minutes instead of the set 60-minute frequency, which is an interesting choice, I will say. Journey time's also been up from supposedly meaning to take about 52 minutes to taking 55 minutes both ways, which means a 5-minute curtail either end. Additionally, the 60 will be ending West Maitland Street, which is odd. I would have thought they'd have maybe terminated at Ponton Street, but just remembering the situation with the 124, I think it's probably a good idea that they didn't. Although they could just very easily have it just terminate on Bread Street. Additionally, we can kind of work out what buses will be used on which of the two routes, as bus 480 has been repainted into the Midland Bluebird livery. It really suits the door front streetlights. I don't know why it looks off to me on the wheel front models. So yeah, we can probably assume that 480 or 481 will probably be used on the 60. As for the 13, not entirely sure. Would be nice if some door front streetlights got used. I know every time I say that I like the door front streetlights, I basically risk, getting tackled. Now, there's one last detail I'm omitting, and that is one extra service. The X39. For any of you who saw the big West Lothian bus news episode I did about a month back, when I mentioned the 801, the X39 is basically that for our 60 and 13 dead runs. What's different, though, is these go into Edinburgh City Centre, well, at least Haymarket, so what I'm thinking is these could actually be pretty well used among commuters into Edinburgh. Of course, not anything massive. I think people are still going to probably see the X18 or 902 and stick with those, but could attract a few passengers at least, commuting into the city centre, or if someone for some reason stays in Uphall and has to commute to Finley House and Seafield, if you're that one person, if you exist, then I am truly sorry. So yeah, towards Edinburgh, the X39 will stop at the McGill's bus stop will stop in Deans, the Scott Mid stop in Uphall, Newbridge Industrial Estate, Drumbrae South in Corstorphine, Haymarket Station, Waterloo Place, and Lock End. However, there's only one journey to Lock End a day, one return trip a day. One of the journeys terminates at Haymarket, and then the journey after that terminates at Waterloo Place. So, what I've worked out is, for the 60, the 712 X39 from Deans gets into Waterloo Place at 8:10, which gives it 20 minutes to get from Waterloo Place to Holyrood Gate, and from there it can do the runs on the 60. After that, the 60, which terminates at Holyrood Gate at, I believe, bang on 5:30, it then has 20 minutes to dead run up to Waterloo Place, and then run on the X39 from Waterloo Place to the Dean's Depot, via the same stopping pattern in reverse. However, it stops at a stop in Broxburn Town Centre instead of Uphall Main Street instead, for some reason. Additionally, for the 13, there are the remaining two runs. So, essentially, there's X39 from Deans at 5:32, which then does the route up to Lock End, gets in around 6:30, and then does the 13. And then later on, around, say, I think 7:30, the last 13 gets into Lock End. That becomes an X39 and does the morning X39 route in reverse. Of course, it stops in Broxburn instead of Uphall for some reason. Now, 10 minutes after the journey to Lock End, there is an X39 to Haymarket, so 5:42 gets into Haymarket about 6:30. From there, I'm assuming it's probably going to dead run from Haymarket out to Craigleith Retail Park, run on the 13, and then for the journey back to Dean's, I assume a 13 is going to get into Craigleith. That'll be the last 13 from there, and then it can just dead run up Haymarket, and then from Haymarket, it's just as simple as just running X39 back, of course, via route reverse, except stopping in Broxburn instead of Uphall. I don't get why it stops in Broxburn instead of Uphall, and why not both, but okay. You do you, McGills. You're strange company, okay? I only found this out like 20 minutes before I finished editing this, but Handicaps Lothian are now supposedly running the 69, which is interesting. For those of you unaware, that's the Portobello and Lady Nairn tender. But anyways, that's about it for today. I'm gonna get to editing this. I've got about 2 days, so I can probably just sleep on this as much as I want. But otherwise, till next time, take care, folks.